achieving a goal of increased management, better use of CPU power, and things like that, but it's not a specific green measure. Additionally, if you consolidate your servers into a lesser physical count, but you still maintain the other servers for other purposes, you don't achieve any green at all. Centralizing storage, again, technically it's not green. It's something that you did to accommodate the architecture and the environment that was required. The net, again, though, is if you centralize your storage and you relieve the old products that you were using, you are going to save money. But again, not within strict concepts and definition of green. Using newer, higher density disks, you're doing more with less. The newer drives are more energy efficient. But again, the goal was performance and increased density of drives. So it's careful to understand what is truly green and what's not, and what gets a green sticker and what doesn't get a green sticker. Okay, but using the newer storage technologies, spin downs, deduplication, those types of things, those are green savings using tiered storage, allowing your product data to move between less expensive disk drive groupings and so forth. These are truly green. But what the market considers green is saving money, and if I didn't cover all of the above, this presentation would be basically done. So we're going to use green as in the sense of saving money and what steps you can do, but most particularly where your real savings are when you're virtualizing your data centers. Okay. What's really not green? Touched on this. Adding virtual servers without consolidating and removing old servers. If you're adding new applications and requirements, you're keeping your old servers, which is very common. I'm going to consolidate this, but I'm going to keep my SQL and my email and these servers in place, and I'm going to repurpose some of the old machines. You're not achieving any savings. If you add a DR site that was never there before, that's an additional cost to operate. Again, not green. All of these can add savings, but they're not really green. I thought I'd start in the very beginning, though. There are a lot of, I would call them crazy or absurd sayings. One of the leading storage manufacturers and one of the largest computer manufacturers recently put out an article on how thin provisioning is green. Now, thin provisioning allows you to set an artificial size of the disk volume and expand it as required. But the real thing is, if you had the capacity in place already and you're not using it, there's no energy savings because the product's still there and it's still using electricity and generating heat. And if it was never there, you could never achieve any savings. So I thought it was kind of funny. I thought we should just extrapolate on that. And since you don't have the extra storage on hand, you don't need that extra storage administrator, you're immediately going to save another $75,000 on storage you don't have and an administrator you never had. And you'll also save on power and heating for another $10,000. And heck, the guy's not even driving to work, so we're saving, in a sense, outside of the IT world, and we're going green for everything. The bottom line is, if you never had it before and you add it, if there's not a net savings. Let's talk a little bit about consolidating servers. Probably a little old hat, but we'll apply some numbers to it towards the tail end of the presentation. What we see in the SMB and the SMB market very typically is a company is going to consolidate between 10 and 50 physical servers, and they're going to run that down to say a 5-to-1. So if they had a 10 physical servers as I'm displaying here. They would consolidate down to 2 servers and run 5 guest OSs in each of the units. Now, technology, if you go back 2 years, and this is 2 to 3 years is where we're seeing most of the upgrades and displacements taking place. You had older Xeon technology that was consuming significant wattage and generating quite a bit of heat. Consequently, the power supplies were much larger. In this demonstration, I'm using an average of 1,400 watts per CPU enclosure. It's probably a little on the shy side, especially if we're considering some of the L-class and PowerEdge series from HP and Dell, where they had power supplies on the order of 3,000 watts. Typically, the old servers had self-contained storage within the enclosure or a direct attached box, and they had some early vehicles disk backup or mirroring of some kind to keep their restore points within a reasonable time frame. So we've gone from 10 servers in this particular case down to 2 servers. Again, your choice of between 1 and 4 quad-core processors. The typical power supplies assigned are between 500 and 600 watts now with the new Xeon Nehalem processors. 5 guest OSs, so we're netting out the same amount of actual server performing tasks. And at the same time, when you're taking advantage of this consolidation, you're also reducing your drive counts by taking advantage of the new high-density drives that are available. In this particular situation, we have an immediate CPU power savings of 12,860 watts. I'm using a baseline of 1,400 watts on old technology and 570 watts on new technology. That's a significant decrease in power and thermals. Remember, anytime you reduce your electricity used, you're also going to reduce how much you have to cool the room. Let's look at consolidating storage. Before we had 76 drives. I picked 250 gig. I used a 3-year-old disk technology wattage usage for drive spinning and moving. On average, that was 7.2 watts. So we had a large disk count. We had about 19 terabytes of physical disk space between all 10 of the servers. By going with centralized storage with a backside SAN on the servers, using 2 terabyte drives, we're able to reduce that count of 76 drives down to 12 drives. We're also able to share that data in a centralized pool between the 2 servers or any other servers that are added. In this particular situation, I've depicted one of our clustered high availability storage products, and I was liberal in our drive count, and we're also providing RAID 6 protection, which is a 2-drive fail rate per RAID set. So I've upped the ante, I've increased performance, I've increased availability in this particular situation, and increased raw RAID protection.